want to take it to Gopalji, but also I just want to say that there is developing news coming in of an Indian Army Jawan who was on leave, having been abducted and murdered in Manipur. Although his name has been identified, we are not revealing it because we would like his family and the officials to first be able to assess the situation. I'm just flagging this, Gopalji, because when we look at the twin situations in Manipur and in Kashmir, these are the serious situations. This is where our attention in the media, in our parliament should be. Instead, we are caught up in, should the Congress boycott these anchors, not boycott these anchors? I'm not saying the larger media debate doesn't have significance. It certainly does. But I just want to flag that, people may say this session of parliament, other than what has been put on the agenda, we should make use of this time to talk about Manipur, to talk about Kashmir, to talk about what's happening to our soldiers, to what these things, which the entire country will agree are very important issues. Gopalji.
Barkha, these are very important. Manipur is very important. Kashmir is very important. And we need to discuss, I agree. But last time when the parliament was in session, the detailed speech of the Home Minister, it was completely not attended. You ask the question and run off. Is this the way you discuss the issue? So the thing is, what I want to say is, there are so many issues. India is a country of 140 crore people. There are so many issues. Definitely, there are good news. There are bad news. Inflation, price rise, recession, economy, COVID, Manipur, 370. But there is an issue of success of G20 also, Chandrayaan 3 also, the way we handled the COVID for vaccination of 230 crore people, the way post-COVID, the world economy is under recession and our economy is an outlier. Our inflation is under control. 2 days back, inflation figures came, which was less than 6%. And the way RBI has been appreciated by global central banks, the way they have handled the post-COVID situation, macroeconomic parameters, fiscal deficit. The thing is, you discuss both of we are saying that discussions of all things are important, but that doesn't mean that the government should not act. We should completely not hold G20 summit. That we should not try.
Yes, of course. Nobody is saying that.
So the thing is, what I'm telling you, Barkha ji, is that we are ready to discuss everything. Even Manipur, you should relay what Home Minister said about Manipur. It was an extensive way how government is dealing, what we are doing. But if you say that the problems, we are not saying as a government that all problems have been solved in the country. There are problems, there are legacy issues. We are trying to solve, we have solved, but we want to move forward ahead. There are several issues where we seek the opposition support for them. So issues can be discussed, but legislation is an important for us. Governance is important. The last point I want to just mention in 10 seconds is, this all things is coming from the mindset of the opposition. They are not accepting the Prime Minister, that the right of governance to decide what is important in his priorities is his prerogative. Government, people of the country have given him a strong mandate. He needs governance. He needs to move forward. He needs to act, and it is within his constitutional rights to do it. Even those things which is within the constitutional right of the Prime Minister are being denied by the opposition.
Okay, we have time just for closing comments by Shugata and Yashwant. Shugata, I'll start with you. Do go ahead. I think nobody would say, and I think you might be right, that the government walks into the session with two feel-good moments, right? Those feel-good moments are the moon mission and the G20, sort of India's wins at the G20. On the other hand, there is, of course, the continued Pakistan provocation in Kashmir, and there is a very, very grave sort of internal situation in Manipur. Now, the Congress argues that all we're saying is talk about the important things. The BJP argues the business of governing a big, diverse, complex country in India will have many parallel strands all at once. Quick closing comment, Shugata.
I completely agree with the Congress. There are lots of issues and all of them have to be discussed. But my simple objection is that the Congress should also notionally participate in a few things. They should create this narrative that they are participative. The kind of narrative that is getting established, I'm sorry to say, is that they are boycotting everything. I mean, Mahima ji may not agree with the word boycott. I mean, I'm using it for the sake of convenience. For example, she said G14, we are boycotting G14. It's not boycotting, but non cooperation. But they should actually be non cooperating with G114, not 14, because they're so myopic in their viewpoint, because they're only speaking about Delhi and Hindi and English. What about all the regional languages? You have people in the regional languages who are masters of hate, much more than the people you have named, the 14 people. So, you're very myopic, and those things are being used by the BJP in a far interesting way to frame the whole
Yeah.
problem. That's
Let
the
me
only
give
thing.
let me give the last word to Yashwant. That while we're talking about, of course, what's happening in the southern states, Udinidhi Stalin's statement has also given the BJP a kind of talking point against the opposition. And again, the complexity of our country is that statement will play out very differently politically in Tamil Nadu and very differently outside of Tamil Nadu. Yashwant, last word to you. We don't know. The honest answer is we don't know. If we go by the official agenda, then this is a ceremonial moment, and I think, as Shugata says, an opportunity for the BJP to talk about all that has gone right for India, and opportunity for the opposition to say, look, here are the things that still need answers. But I'll go with your last instinct as we close the show. Tomorrow, what will you
Well,
be looking for in Parliament?
Barkha, very crisply. I mean, to celebrate our heroes or to give a narrative of what good things that have happened in 75 years while we are moving into the new parliament, I don't think we can actually find any fault into that. And as far as Shubhata is very right that, if we are talking about the narratives, I guess that we discussed this, Barkha, earlier, that when the opposition didn't take the offer of, having a complete full session on Manipur, which Amit Shah said that, they are okay with that. I think that is something which went wrong in terms of narrative. And now officially boycotting or unofficially not participating, whichever way, in the narrative, I feel in the public perception, this is not probably not going to go down well. Opposition should be aggressive, no doubt about that. Opposition has all the rights to point at the failures of the government, no doubts about that. But I am just here to study, I mean, as an expert who looks at the perception of the public as such. Somehow I feel that this narrative of non-participation, non-cooperation, whichever way one look at it, or official or unofficial boycott, starting from Manipur to up to the even the anchors thing, this in entire narrative thing is probably is not working in opposition's favor.
Okay.
This is my humble submission.
Okay, I will have to leave it there. Mahima ji, you have a 10-seconder? Okay, can we just unmute Mahima? 1 second, ma'am. 1 second. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
While the secretive ways of the BJP are perilous for our democracy, what we are hearing here, we need to also be reminded that it is the BJP which has an unannounced ban on all media, no press conference by the Prime Minister in the last 9 years. Also, there are multiple anchors and channels that the BJP doesn't send its spokespersons to. I'll end it at that.
Okay, Gopalji, I'll allow you a 10-seconder. We've gone, of course, into the realm of the media debate, and we need to have a separate program on that. But very quickly, I'll give you a last 10 seconds as well.
Barkha, I just want to tell there is nothing secretive. We are doing with full constitutional transparency what is required on the agenda issue about the parliament. And discussions is not part of this is speculation of opposition and their confusion that continues to prevail in their debates.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Even if Ganesh Chaturthi passes as the ceremonial first day in Parliament, I know the way we all are, we'll still be looking at the remaining 4 days to see what might happen till the very last day, as Yashwant said. Till it's over, it isn't over.